Hey there, Justin Chamness here, Real Estate Wholesalers Club, where we're all about helping you get to that first deal paycheck. That's that shut up money. You know what I'm talking about. I talk about it every time I get on the camera. It's that first deal paycheck that helps you get on with your life. I remember a time when I was forced into the JOB scenario. You guys, some of you have heard my personal, I guess, testimony, I guess is what you could say it is. But several years ago, went through a real tight spot, tough spot. Lost everything that I had accomplished in real estate during the 2008 downturn and or collapse or whatever you want to call it, and was forced to go get a job. Yeah, yeah, sucked. And I know what it feels like to feel like you're stuck there. But I also know what it feels like to just put your head down and work real hard, and you know, and smart too, and to have a coach and to have some good training and to have some supportive people. I had to get rid of some people in my life, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. If you want to be successful, sometimes you have to just get rid of some of the people you hang around that are just not good for you. So I had to get rid of some of those people and make room in my life for some better people. And I did. And when I got that first deal, that shut up money, now, of course, I had done some real estate things back, in the early mid 2000s and lost it all. So when I came back to the table, I was broke, busted, and disgusted, working a job now, paying child support and alimony and the whole nine yards. And I remember the first deal I got was a co-wholesale deal. And I remember it was the first co-wholesale I had ever done in my whole life. And I kind of got lucky on it. I think I did. I didn't know about building relationships or networking. I didn't know about any of that, but I did struggle my way through just going out there swinging. And my advice to you today is go out there swinging, guys. If you were going to go get in a fight with somebody, a bunch of guys, let's say, you wouldn't want to pick out the one you want to hit first. No, you just want to go out there swinging, right? And that's kind of like what I'm telling you, I think I did. I just went out there swinging. I didn't know everything. I'd never done a co-wholesale deal before ever in my life. Was confused a little bit about the paperwork even. And yet somehow I kept going. I got one. And I remember the shut up money check. It was absolutely a small amount of money. I know you guys are wanting me to say, oh, it was $60,000 and it changed my life. And now look at me. Here's my Ferrari and my Lambo, and here's my wife with the fake boobies. And no, I'm just a real guy. But here's the thing. That small check was big for me on the inside. So small on the outside, big for me mentally, changed my life. It was a paradigm shift for me because I realized two things, really. One, that I could do this and that I could make money again, right? And then I also realized that there's a lot of other wholesalers out there who aren't very good, right? Because I'm co-wholesaling. I'm bringing a buyer to the table. So I realized that there's some out there that aren't very good and that I could actually be better than a lot of these guys. And that just fueled my fire. And the next deal I did was also a co-wholesale. And so then I started getting them about once a month. That's how I started going. So, nothing like, hey, I started and in the first 9 months, I'm not a Brad Pickett. I didn't make $1 million in my first year. No, not really. Not the second time around. The second time around, I did about a deal a month, if that. And probably, I think I skipped a few months in there even. But, you know, the shut up money check, guys, very, very, very big, very important. I'm glad that we talk about shut up money. I guess I force it on everybody. But yeah, the shut up money check. It's discouraging when you've been working for it for a little while and you haven't seen anything. I get it. I was visiting with a gentleman yesterday. He said, "Man, I've just been feeling down." Yeah, I get that. Yep. He said, "I don't really know why." He said, "I've been trying to do this now for, I think, 3 months." He said, "I see these other guys, they've been at it for 2 months and they've already got a contract out on something." Yep. Yep. Well, yeah, I'm just listening to him, you know. So he's like, "It's nothing in particular. It's just, I don't know. I just feel discouraged. Like, why is this not working for me?" That's a good question. Good question. It's probably the right question. If it's working for other people, and that's what I said. I said, "Well, why would it work for all these other people, but not for you?" He said, "That's exactly what I'm saying." That's right. That's what I mean. I said, okay. So you think you're special, but like in a bad way. You know, we all kind of have that, I think, maybe in the back of our minds somewhere. And I think it's time to just squash that, guys. This is not rocket science. Matter of fact, the dumber you can make this, the more successful you'll be. The dumber you can make it, the more simple you can make this, the less spreadsheet building and analyzing and pouring over all of the demographical, you know, numbers and cash buyers numbers and price to rent ratios for neighborhoods, and that's too smart. You got to make it dumber. You know, I mentioned this the other night in the VIP. There's a guy here in the room. I did not take it as an insult, but he said, "You know, the first time I saw you, I thought, man, this guy was kind of like a doofus." He said, "A doofus like me." He said, "If this guy can do it," and I know, because see, I'm like you too, that when you were in your living room, you didn't think like me. You just thought doofus. And I'm okay with that because I kind of am a doofus. And I'm not proud that I didn't finish college the way I should have. I'm not proud that I'm not like, you know, somebody more special in some way. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of areas in my life where, you know, I just never really even was a career person. Like I couldn't hack it. So there's a lot of things in my life I'm not proud of, but so in a way I kind of am a doofus. But this is so dumb that even I can do it. You know, and if I can do it, don't you think you can? I have two-year degrees. Randy used to work at a Fortune 500 company. Yeah. We got David in the room. He's a very important civil servant in the probably most major metropolitan city in the world. Yeah. So we got some smart guys, smarter than me, absolutely smarter than me, more talented, more experienced in how to do shit. I could show you how to put a worm on a fishing hook, and I could show you how to flip a house. That's about it. Okay. So don't think you have to be something special. The dumber you make this, the better you'll be at it. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze it. Don't put yourself into what I think is technically stall mode. Just go out there swinging. right? That's what I think. Now that, I guess, is my monologue. uh, I love you guys today. Something weird's going on with my microphone. I don't know what it is, but it has a horrendous delay on my voice. And so it's like I hear myself one whole second after I say it, and it scrambles my brain. I don't know. I'm having a hard time even concentrating. So if I sound funny today, that's why, guys. But welcome, everybody. I'm glad you're here. It's Saturday. It's awful early in the morning. I was so excited last night about the business that I just couldn't hardly sleep again. And here we are. Shut Up Money Show. Okay, if you want to join in, www.zoomjustin.com. That's www.zoomjustin.com. All right, password is money. If you want to join in the Zoom room, you can ask questions, you can participate, interact. Hey guys, if you're in here and you want to turn on your microphone, turn on your camera, let's just do a little bit of Q&A this morning. Anybody got anything they want to talk about? Anybody got a deal they're working, they want to share? Does anybody have a problem, an obstacle, a hurdle they're trying to overcome? Maybe I'd have a piece of advice for you. Now would be a good time to do that. If anybody here got one? Crickets.
Yes. I do.
Errol.
Hey, how are you doing?
Are you trying to raise your hand for a question?
Yes, I am.
Let me check here on YouTube, guys. Let me see what's going on there. Maybe there's some questions on YouTube as well. Edward, turn his camera on. Maybe he's got a question. I know sometimes these guys are like, hey, I don't want to turn my camera on in the morning because it's awful early. It is awful early on the West Coast, especially.
Yesterday.
I can't hear you, Ed.
I
don't know what's going on with your mic.
Room in the VIP room.
But anyway, Harold Humphrey says that you could be a doofus all day, all the way to the bank. Yep. Well, yeah. You know, that's funny, man. It is. Because I've met a lot of wealthy people, and none of them, like, I've met 2 billionaires in my life, and I've never ever in either case sat there and thought, wow, this dude is smart. You know, I never thought, wow, this guy was probably a Mensa. This guy's probably graduate from Harvard. No, never thought that at all. In fact, one of the billionaires I ate breakfast with at a diner in a small town in Colorado, and he pulled up in a Ford F-150 white pickup truck. Jeans, boots. Yeah. I didn't sit there and I thought he was a hard man, but I didn't think he was like an overly intelligent man. You know, no, he was just a doer. And that's an important concept to grasp. These guys, they get rich like this because they make a lot of money because they do. They ask a lot of questions and they do. Second billionaire I ever met was actually in a really nice office with an incredible view. But again, he was not the smartest man in the room. Login info is www.zoomjustin.com. Password is money. I told this story recently, but I met a multi-millionaire. Actually interviewed to do some work for him once. He flew me at his own expense to Warren, Michigan, put me in a extended stay hotel, motel, you know, the kind like an apartment. And then let his people expose what he does to me. But for about a week, one of those days, he called me into his office, which was a giant office had a humongous desk. I don't know if I've ever seen a desk bigger than this one. Beautiful office. Behind his chair, he had like an encyclopedia set of like the complete works of the laws of success of Napoleon Hill or something from the Napoleon Hill library. It was like the original or first edition. Like, I don't know, some incredible, beautiful book display that for anybody like success oriented is just mouthwatering to see. But he sat down in his big leather chair and he sat me down in an uncomfortable wooden chair. It had some pads, but right in front of his desk, and he's talking to me, and he's wearing a suit, and he's got these gold cufflinks on. They're huge, huge gold cufflinks. And as he's talking to me, he's talking about his business. He's talking about how rich he is. He's talking about his $500,000 Bentley that he just bought, and this is not the first one he's owned. He's talking about his house. He's talking about how many millions of dollars he made this year so far. He's talking about how when he was my age, he was better than me. And, you know, I'm kind of almost a little bit put off by it, except I'm entertained. The guy's definitely very wealthy. He's wearing gold cufflinks, huge, huge damn cufflinks. And every time he's very expressive, he's moving his hands up and down. And every time he does, he clanks them on the desk. Accidentally, I suppose. So very, very, very disruptive to the, you know, to the talk. Is just every few seconds, you know, you get an unrhythmic slam of these. I was distracted. He stopped. He said, "Why are you staring at my cufflinks?" I thought he was accusing me of being some kind of a thief. Like I was, like I was eyeing his cufflinks. I was going to go swipe them later or something. I didn't know where he was coming from with that. He said, "You know, what are you looking at my cufflinks for?" I said, "Well, you were making noises on the desk there with talking, and it was just distracted me." I was just an honest answer. And he says, "You'll never do what I do." And I'm thinking, this is out of left field. I thought we were talking about cufflinks. "You'll never do what I do." I said, "Okay, why is that?" He said, "You'll never do what I do because you have to have all the answers. You want to be a smart guy." And I'm thinking, okay, I thought that's what we were supposed to be. Like, what am I supposed to be? Dumb? Well, yeah, in a way. But in the wrong way, I was trying to be dumb. So here he goes. He says, "You'll never be like me because you have to have all the answers." He says, "Look at all this behind me." And he pointed it out, man. And I'm not kidding. It was probably a good 40, maybe 50 feet of offices, just one right after another along a wall. And they were all glass. And he said, "You see all those offices on that wall?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Every one of those is a lawyer that works for me." I said, "Okay." He said, "You see all that wall over there?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "All of those over there are accountants and actuaries that work for me." I said, okay. He said, "You'll never do that." I said, "What? Why? Why do you say this?" "You have to be the smartest guy in the room." He said, "I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I'm the guy that has all the questions." You know, at first, I didn't know what he meant. But after a minute, it started to sink in with me what he exactly meant. And that is that the guy that has all the answers works for the guy that has all the right questions. That's really what he was describing to me. So I went away and I was pondering this, thinking about it, you know. Sometimes it's all about just having the right questions. When you're talking to a homeowner, definitely you need to have the questions. You need to be in charge of the conversation. It's funny how the guy with the questions leads the conversations. He's in charge, just like this man was describing to me. And so I've tried to, since I've had that experience with this very, very, very wealthy, accomplished gentleman, and such a mysterious interaction. I've tried to change my ways and become more like I don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. Like I don't have to have all the answers. I just need to be asking the questions all the time. And really, somewhere along the lines of meeting that guy, some of his people taught me a little bit more in detail they coached me a little. He did hire me. This was probably back in, 2010 or 11. He hired me and I went to work for him, applying the principles that he was sharing with me about asking these questions, which is important. You need to be asking yourself questions about you, about your business. You need to be asking yourself questions about, to the homeowner, to stay in charge of the conversation. What kind of questions are you asking yourself? Are they questions that set you up for success or for failure? I think we're all asking ourselves questions a lot, but they're not necessarily the right questions. But I went to work for that guy, and I promise you, within the first 3 weeks, I had made like already over 10 grand. And it was just looking up from there. I made 30 grand by the end of the first month working for that guy. Yeah. That guy changed my life. And I hope somehow, just through some weird interaction that I have with some of you, that something I say, whether it's about cufflinks or about, asking questions instead of being the smart guy, going into presenter mode, something that I share with you like that, I hope it impacts you as much as that guy impacted me that day. I know that's kind of a slow story, maybe with not much of a big point to it, but I really hope that something I say sometime impacts you that way and really changes who you are to the core. I don't think I would have ever accomplished anything that I've accomplished since then had that guy not pointed his bastard finger at me and said, "You'll never be what I am." You know what, man? That fucking hurt. It hurt. But he was right. Until I can change. And I've changed a lot, guys, and I'm still developing. I'm still changing. I have mentors and coaches in my life to this day. You guys have met some of them. Yeah. All right. I've talked a lot, guys. Anybody got a question now? I've seen a bunch of guys pop on here. Surely somebody has a question. You guys, what's going on this morning? Everybody's quiet like this is a church service or a funeral, like I'm heading up a funeral. Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today to celebrate this thing called life. Life.
I have
electric word. All right, guys, let's talk about Zoom and lead generation. Y'all want to talk about that? Boiling this stuff down into your day-to-day routine.
I guess you didn't
Anybody got anything else they want to share? Or I'm going to jump right into it.
I just wanted to ask you a question.
Okay. Let me pull it up on my computer so I can share the screen with you. But I definitely want to share with you how you can break down your day-to-day routine into a daily schedule. Your target numbers into a daily schedule, a daily routine. And I'm going to show it to you right now on Trello. Actually, I'm going to pull up this other spreadsheet while I'm at it, because I want to show that to you as well. All right, now I can share screens with you. All right, if you don't have Trello, go get it, guys, unless you have something else in mind already that you do use. But Trello is a free app. Trello allows you to track things, day to day, schedule things. It's actually technically called a simple CRM. Okay. And I'll show it to you here in a minute, but this here is an acquisition scoreboard. Now, yeah, Mr. Thinker says, I don't think you can hear the guys. So are there people trying to talk to me and I can't hear them? Like I said, my microphone and headphones are doing some weird stuff today. Like I got this horrible delay. Makes my brain scramble. I don't know. Somebody say something so I know that I'm not going crazy.
Can you hear me?
All right. Acquisition scoreboard. Monthly goal, 10 grand. I went over this a little bit the other day. Mr. Thinker's talking to me now, he says, and I still don't hear him. Well, I wonder why. Huh. Okay. Well, sorry, guys. Technology. I have no idea what's happening here.
Can you hear me?
Somebody sent me a private chat here. Let's see.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Aisha, Charles. Man, yeah, that's right. You were, Ed. Why can't I hear anybody, man?
Yeah, you can't hear me.
What's going on with that? Can y'all hear me okay, though?
Yes.
Evidently. Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on, fellas.
Can you hear me now, Joe?
That's the weirdest thing
Justin?
I've seen.
Justin, can you hear me?
On here. Okay. Well, I guess you guys just have to hear me bloviate or put your questions in the chat because I can't hear you for some reason today. This Zoom stuff's been acting strange since they went on lockdown. Okay. You can hear me and you can hear the other people.
Yes. Can you hear
But
me?
I can't hear the other people? What? Oh my God, that is so weird. No. Okay, y'all got to be more clear. I'm loud and clear. And Mr. Thinker says he can hear the other guys, but I can't hear them. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, guys. That doesn't even make any sense to me. Well, bummer. You want to start over? Everybody want to log out and try to log back in or something? It's pretty wacky. Okay, let me see if I can log out and log back in, okay? Let me see if I can do it. Maybe that'll fix.
Can everybody else hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, it was just he got a problem, I guess, then, because I was trying to talk to him earlier. I thought he couldn't hear me. I thought it was my system.
Yeah, I was wondering why he wasn't paying any attention to you. You were saying, "Can you hear me?" And he went on to talking to somebody else, or saying something else. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I was having a problem with my system yesterday, but.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Justin, your mic is off.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear
Oh
me?
my
Yeah, I
gosh.
can hear you. You got it?
Oh,
All right.
that's been the worst, man. I'm sorry about that.
I thought it was my system because I knew I was having problems yesterday. So.
Hey, make me the host again, if you can, Ed. I made you the host while I was gone. Make me the host again so I can control my buttons.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
Right click up there. There's a hamburger sign right there in the top right-hand corner of my video.
Hamburger time.
Okay. Oh, we're already live. Hey, never mind. Let's do it.
I made you the
Man,
host.
this is the weirdest stuff ever today. I don't know why I could not hear anyone. How strange. But you could hear me and everybody else could hear you. Just me.
Yeah, well,
That's
I
fine.
clicked and made you the host, Joe, Justin. So
Okay. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I see that. Thank you. Okay. Did y'all have questions? I was like, you guys are leaving me out in the middle of the woods here, like with no help at all. I was like,
hey, Justin, yesterday I was reading in the VIP room. The guy was talking about land trust.
yeah,
What was that about? Well, I kind of been looking at it because a friend of mine was telling me I shouldn't buy nothing in my name. I should put everything in a trust.
yeah. Yeah, a trust is like an old English, honestly, I believe they invented trusts in order to bypass a death tax or inheritance tax. Back like hundreds of years ago in England, and a trust, there's a few different kinds of trusts. You might hear somebody say they put their house in an irrevocable living trust or a revocable living trust. You might hear them say they put something in a land trust. Trust, what is it? A trust is like a living entity. It's like another person, like you or me. So in other words, if you had a piece of property or some material goods in a trust, the difference between you and the trust is the trust doesn't die, right? You'll get old and pass away, but the trust won't. So if your possessions are owned by a trust, then when you die, that doesn't really change anything other than maybe who the beneficiary becomes or whatever your wishes are. All right. That's a real rough explanation, but it was done in order to hide or shelter. It was created as a means for the wealthy class to hide and shelter their possessions from the court systems and probates and so on and so forth, because, hey, this trust never dies. Now, I just want to throw this out there. Hey, I'm glad you guys are still watching. Thanks for all your patience and the lunacy of what's going on here. Okay. So, yeah, most people are told to get a will. I know this seems a little off subject, but it's not. I'm going to bring it home. But then other people, the wealthy, have a trust. The will is inside the trust. Okay. So there's a lot good to be said about trusts of all kinds. However, for the assignment game in real estate, not really necessary, because you're not really going to take ownership of these properties. You're going to put it under contract and assign that contract over to somebody else. You don't really need it in a land trust to do that. If you were going to if you were going to sandwich lease option a deal, would you want to do it in a land trust? I don't think so. No, you wouldn't, because you're not taking ownership of the property, right? Now, if you're going to do some kind of creative finance deal, like someone mentioned in the chat, a subject to, or you're going to take deed. Now, it's pretty smart to put it in a land trust. Okay. It's also pretty smart to just put it in an LLC. It's okay to do your first 2 deals or so, or 5 or handful or 1 in your own name. So it's just a matter of business protection. Like if you want to ramp up your business, if you have a business that's making money, you'll want an LLC, and the LLC will protect your personal life from your business. Now, if you want to up it from there, you can do a land trust. That's how I see it. So I'm not an expert. I'm not an attorney, but that's my take on it, guys.
Well, I've been studying, and I've been listening to Ron LeGrand. He was talking about. He also was saying you should never buy anything in your name. You should put everything in a trust. And I was wondering, should I put my own home in a land trust?
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I've heard these stories where people have had medical trauma. They go to the hospital, they get some kind of procedure done to them, and then they walk away with a $150,000 bill. And it's like, holy shit. Insurance didn't cover it for this reason or the other, or they didn't have insurance. And next thing you know, they're losing their house. to the hospital. I've heard that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It'd be nice in that case if it was in a trust, wouldn't it?
Right, right. Well, see, I was after he said land trust, I went back and listened to that video he had with Chris Haskins,
Uh-huh.
and then he was saying about land trust. Also, he was talking about putting it in. I don't forget it. I went through it a couple of times, but he was talking about putting it in a trust and keeping it in a trust so it'll protect you or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. It will shelter. It's like giving your house to another living entity. But it's not really a living entity, but it's regarded as a living entity.
Well, let me ask you a question, because he was talking about if you put it in a trust, he was talking about put my house in a trust and then make somebody that you trust as the beneficiary, like a brother or sister, somebody that you really trust, make them the beneficiary.
Yeah.
And,
See,
and
that's
I
why
said, well,
I don't
why not
do it.
make your LLC? He said, you don't want to put it in your LLC. You don't want to make your LLC the beneficiary. I figured out why.
You can't figure out why, or you said you figured out why?
I couldn't figure out why. Why wouldn't you just make the LLC the beneficiary?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know. I've really considered starting some trust myself, and I never have. And the reason why is because I never could find anybody I trust really to be the trustee, or, so that me and my wife could be the beneficiary. You know what I mean? I don't know. I didn't come from that kind of family where, you could just call them up and be like, hey, will you go in on this with us and set us up and make sure that we always have a house to live in? And, we're providing everything. We just need you to sign here and, do your job, which is to never tell, right? And, nobody. Yeah. Yeah. I think you can get an attorney, man. I've even seen attorneys. I've seen attorneys in these deals really get people too, because they trusted the attorney because he's an attorney, but it turns out he crooked them,
Right.
So, you gotta, maybe I'm overthinking that.
Well, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm
gonna
gonna study it because I got a friend of mine who actually follows Chris, and he said he got the link. He said he would give it to me. He said he actually bought Chris's land trust package. So he said he got all the stuff where you can do your land trust yourself.
Oh, yeah, but you got to have a trustee, right? And you got to have a beneficiary.
I guess I'm gonna find out. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you able to show us how you actually get a list of people on automated REI, a list of expired or a list of tied landlords on automated REI? Is that possible?
Yeah, I can do that. But Errol, I've got a better piece of advice for you, man.
Okay.
You're in the VIP club, so you can actually go right into the chat room there and use the @ symbol.
Okay.
And type @ Michael Batista.
Yes.
And his name will pop up there. You can it's tag him in a message that you write in there.
Yes.
And what it'll do, you can just say, hey, I'm looking for a specific list.
Yes.
Can you guys help me narrow down these filters and tell me what it would be and how many and all that?
Okay.
Because they will help you custom design one.
Okay.
If you want something kind of special, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
But
you.
as far as doing the automated REI, I can definitely show you how that works if you want me to show you that.
Well, I definitely know how to do the Zillow scraping and the Craigslist scraping. It's just that I realized that the list is a little bit more detailed. In other words, they're looking for a little bit more information, like zip codes, and it's a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if you had something like that. Because I did speak to Two-Sif the other day, and he said he's going to get back to me on the search because I was having problems with it. But he hasn't gotten back to me yet with that list I asked him for. So
okay, you need to tag him in there and hit him up again.
I'll do that.
Yeah, he's been kind of busy this last week or so or two, and he might be a little bit over busy. I'm not sure.
Okay.
but yeah, don't hesitate to remind him, follow up with him.
Right.
I know he's had some major things he's had to fix on the machine because Craigslist and Zillow have changed things. I think so. He's been kind of under some pressure.
Right.
But but nevertheless, let me share the screen with you here, and I'll show you exactly how this
Okay.
works, man, on the list
Thank
pulling. Yeah, I'm on automated. It's theautomatedrei.com for anybody watching out there, and I went right down to the list pulling section. So this isn't Zillow scraping or Craigslist scraping. This is the list pulling section where I can pull a list and put in the filters. So I'm really just literally going to fill out the blanks here to the best of my ability. Okay. Oops. Somebody's sending me a chat. I wonder who it is. I missed it. Let me see. I'll have to, somebody's in the room here. Okay. Yes, it takes 24 hours to complete a scrape. Whoever asked that. That's pretty normal. 24 hours. Sometimes a little bit longer, but usually 24. List pulling name. This is going to be whatever I want it to be, guys. I'm going to write test list right here, and that'll be my name for this particular list that I'm requesting to be pulled. Now, my first name is Justin. My last name is Chamness. My email address and my phone number, and the list type. Okay. What I recommend, guys, is that you start going with the expired listings as a good place to start. Of course, if you're kind of going for a different, end result, or you want to do subject to, or you want to do some other technique, then something else may be more fitting. And if it's a general category of data like expireds or cash buyers or owner occupied, absentee, these are all pretty generalized, right? Absentee, that would be owners that don't live there. Okay. They live somewhere else, and the subject property is either a rental property or it's empty or something. So you just pick these general categories. Now, here's what I don't like about it. If I had one beef, it would be that the list type is just too generalized. Like, for example, on another platform that I talk about a lot, PropStream, you could really dig deep into these filters. But here, of course, PropStream costs like $100 a month, though, just to have. But here, it's not as deep. You can't dig like that. Here it's more generalized. Yes, I want to look at expired listings, or yes, I want to look at a list of cash buyers. So, that's why I say in the VIP chat room, if you tag those guys and request something more specific than just expired listings, like, for example, expired listings with liens. Okay. Expired listings that are also low equity or no equity. Okay. So any kind of, you see the second pain point I'm throwing in here. You can request a second pain point is what I'm getting at. So don't hesitate to do that. But here on the interface, it's not quite as, in depth as I'd like it to be.
The cash buyer list pretty good.
Cash buyers list is good. Yeah.
Man, because I get leads up to kazoo. I need buy.
Yep. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, man. Cash buyers list. Yep. But
good.
See, you'll definitely want to fill out the rest of the filters. Zip code. Yes, the way to do that, somebody asked a question about, is there any way to stack more data? Yeah, you have to special request it. It helps if you're in my VIP club, because that's where the guys hang out that do this stuff and run this machine.
And this is where I got a little confused because it's once I go ahead and it just automatically puts in my information. I'm saying, why do they need my information? Now it's down here, it says list zip code. I mean, that's what confused me a little bit. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. See what that is that's your browser's automatic fill in of the information or something, I think.
right.
Because it does that to me, it does that to everybody. But I'm unless I want to search right here where I live,
Right.
at my address or whatever, I'm gonna, basically have to change this. So let's say I want to do, I don't know, is Alaska AK? Okay, I don't know. We'll have to do something else.
Is that the zip code that you're looking for?
Yeah,
That's the reason I was
Yeah,
asking you to do
that's
it for me.
exactly what it
Yeah.
is, guys. United
Right.
States, list county. It's not the United States. It's, I don't know what the county is there because I'm not sure what I'm looking for, but I would put the county here. It'll pull up if I hit something right. So yeah, this is where I'm searching for. Okay. List zip. Okay.
Can you put
I don't
multiple
want-
zips in there?
Yeah, you can. I think you have to separate them by a comma,
Okay.
but that's a mandatory thing. You can't leave that blank. Any of these, really. So you can see you're filtering it down, but it's not like quite as in depth as PropStream would be, but still, you can get where you want to go. But the money is going to be a hell of a lot cheaper too than PropStream. So this is kind of a way to buy a list without spending shit tons of money. How much equity do you want? So there is some filters you can do here, but guys, I'm telling you, the best way to do it, if you're in the VIP club, is just to have them custom make you what you really, really, really want. If it's not there, like boom, then if it is, you can just click the button and fill in the data and go. Yeah. If not, then just custom build something, have them build something for you.
That makes sense.
Good question, man. Man, this is so much more fun when I can hear you and stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Man, could y'all tell I was sweating bullets there for about like 10 minutes. I was like, I was
Hey,
coming up with
Justin, when you-
stories
when
to
you-
tell, and I was like, I don't know.
It's all good.
John wants to know, is it possible that a few people share a PropStream account? Yeah, in my VIP club, guys, I don't think Sean's in it, but yeah, they do. Some guys get together and team up and split the cost. So I think there's one team that I know of that's down to like $25 or 23 or something.
Yeah, I'm in one of the PropStream groups. I think he got an opening too because I know a guy was supposed to be leaving. So
Well, see, so there you go. That would pay for your VIP expenses even. So
right.
You save that money. Hey, it pays to be VIP. That's what I say.
Oh, the VIP is priceless, man.
Thank you for saying that, Rick.
I wish you would raise the price on it, be honest with you, but hey.
Don't give him
Not
any
my thing.
ideas.
Well, I've raised the price on it, except I don't go back and raise the price on it for people that were already formerly subscribed at a lower rate. You know what I mean? That would be, in my opinion, kind of raw.
Okay, so if you had a lower rate and you dropped out the VIP and you want to come back, you'd be at a different rate, correct?
Yeah.
I don't see how anybody would, once people get inside and see how much people share and talk about things, I can't see how anybody would want to leave, to be honest with you.
Either I wouldn't want to leave either. I got.
I mean,
I make sure. I love.
I know there might be some people listening in that, it's like, they're just blowing a bunch of smoke, but I mean, it's for real, really. I mean, most people pay thousands of dollars for courses and they don't get daily interaction, and we have daily interaction in there. It's just, it's crazy, man.
Is it okay if I just introduce myself? I'm Justin.
Yeah, I'd love it, man.
Yeah. Hi, guys. My name is Errol. I'm brand new with Justin, and I listened to him a couple times on YouTube, and I think he's absolutely fantastic. He's fair. He knows what he's talking about. It's a lot more simpler, his program, than some others I've been in. whether it be Ron LeGrand, Carlton Sheets, like he spoke about, Joe McCall. I mean, I just think that Justin is really on the money. You know, he's straight to the point. He's not about bullshit. And I really appreciate his style. And he's very reasonable. So
I think a lot of them big gurus can't stand him.
Man, you know what's funny? I never really conceived that we would have this much momentum as a club. I wanted it. I dreamed of it, but now that we're here, it's crazy, guys. I mean, I like Rick was saying, I put the phone down last night and I went into the kitchen and I made a plate of, we had spaghetti again. I love spaghetti, guys. It's my favorite. So we had spaghetti. The wife made that for me. It was so sweet. Anyway, I eat one small serving of spaghetti and a small salad, which doesn't take me very long. I pick up the phone. That's all I've done. I pick up the phone and I've missed 180 messages from the VIP. You guys are just like in there hashing it out, man. And gosh, I love it. It has a life of its own. You guys. And it's not just all about me. And that's never what I wanted it to be, was about me. I wanted it to be like it is. And somehow, man, I just feel so blessed that it is. It's actually like that. And I think somehow, oddly enough, we are really changing the way coaching's done in this industry, man. I really do. You find anybody else out there, you guys talk about the coaches and gurus, man. Ain't nobody doing what we're doing. I think this is pretty fresh. I'm so happy that every one of you guys are here.
How do I check out the VIP club? How do I check out that VIP
Oh,
club?
yeah. You can check it out at www.realestatewholesalersclub.com. The difference between the VIP and the one-on-one, somebody asked me in the chat. I'll tell you what it is. The VIP comes with all the courses, all the agreements packages. And that's some shit that you don't even know about yet, because I include some things there that maybe you don't think are necessary, but there's all kinds of agreement packages there. And the courses, it also comes with your scoreboard for acquisitions, your tracker sheet. It comes with everything. It also comes with a Wednesday night private Q&A like this in a small group setting. It's not live anywhere. It's not being broadcasted. It's just usually a handful of people that make it on Wednesday night at 7:00 Central Time, 5:00 West Coast. And we just hash out you guys' questions and issues and problems. We role play. During the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at noon Central Time, 10 a.m. West Coast, we do a live Q&A where the participants are VIP members. So basically what I'm saying is 6 times a week we get on camera with you here and we help you. And you get everything else beyond that. Now, what does one-on-one coaching add beyond that? Well, you still get all of that, but with the one-on-one stuff, add into that an additional one-on-one private Zoom session with me once a week or once every other week, depending on how badly you need it. Okay. So if you feel like you need a little one-on-one hand holding, that's what that is. But this VIP club is banging. I mean, it comes loaded. That's really my, I guess if you have a lower offer, that's the VIP, but it's packed with value.
How much is it?
Right now it's $97, but if you use Shut Up Money as a coupon code, the coupon code Shut Up Money, then it'll bring it down to $83, and then it's $47 a month to continue. Okay, cancel anytime.
Justin, you're amazing, man. I don't know how you do it. How do you get time with your family if you doing all this?
Well, if you think about it, guys, it's not that big of a deal. I'm on my phone anyway, so there's the chat room. Hold on, let me yell at the dog because she's acting like a clown.
So you need that
Okay.
time. The dog wanted now.
Say what?
The dog wants the time now. Yes,
Yeah.
not me.
Well, I do 1 hour. That's at noon or 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's Tuesday through Friday, so that's an hour. And then I have Wednesday night session for an hour, and then the chat room. That's not really all that much for me. It's time. I mean, it's an everyday thing. I work hard at it, but it's not like, all day, every day. And then the chat room, you guys have really kind of helped me in that respect, because when somebody asks a question, Rick is there. He answers a lot. Thank you, Rick, for that too. And then other guys answer too, and help out. And Ed, you help out sometimes too, man. You interact in there a lot.
Right.
And I miss Michael Goolsby. He doesn't talk enough in there.
I'm still here.
I wonder if Errol's even in there at all, because he was trying to find it for a minute. He was like, "Where's it at?" And I
got a question too.
Yeah.
With the Trello, could you get notifications from Trello, or do you have to go in
Oh,
there?
yeah.
And look.
Yeah, you can definitely get notifications for Trello. You can set up each individual card. I'll show it to you, man.
Okay, great.
Let me see if I can get to it.
Yes.
Man, you like in.
Okay. Yep. Here we go.
Okay.
So here's a Trello board. It's an example daily board. You guys have seen me show this to you before.
Right.
But let's say I want to order this SMS text blast. I'm gonna set up a due date here. I'm gonna go down here to due date, and then see I can select any time, any day that I want. And let's say I want this alarm to go off on Friday at let's do 2:00 in the afternoon, 2:59 p.m. Okay. All right. So then set reminder at the time of due date, or I can have it remind me at some point before it even becomes due. So that's how you set up your notifications and due dates and stuff.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. And that's really what makes Trello so kick-ass. Well, one, it's free, but two, it's got so many options like that. So you can go in there totally and set up your due dates and notifications for following up on a lead or anything. And it's a simple CRM is technically what it is. It's a simple CRM. And if you overlook it, you're just looking out the window, because it's got a lot of bells and whistles for free.
Yes.
What's the difference in the text blasts?
What's the difference in the text
Right, you got
blast?
the TCP or whatever you call it, and then you got the regular text blast.
Yeah, that's a great question. And let me see if I can share the screen, and I'll just show you I'll show everybody what he's talking about. Let's see. Do I still have it up? Yes, I do. Okay. All right. So on automated REI, you can see over here on the left menu, you can slide down. When you're ready to do a text blast, a text campaign, you can either go to the SMS campaign button, which is a blast. Okay. You are going to blast one message, and this is where that message goes to everyone on that list. Then if you go over here to the left and go to the TCPA compliance, this is a single text message every time you push the button, not a blast. Okay, so you write your message here, and then down here, it will show. Okay, let me just see if I can get it to pull up one. Yeah, see, I got it to pull up one. So now when I'm going to send the SMS, I put my message up here, and then I'm ready. I'm going to hit send. When I hit send, it's going to pull up the next number, and then it'll ask me to hit send. And then it'll pull up the next number on the list, and then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. So this is manual. It's one at a time. It's human interaction, but it's not a blast. Okay. So that's why they call it TCPA compliant. So you have to click send every single time. Now, how long does this take? 1 second, because as soon as I hit send, the next one pops up. Okay.
What does that TCBA stand for? You know,
Telephone Consumers Protection Act. See, I'm going to hit send right now. I'm going to send this person a message that says, hi. I don't even know who it is. Oops. Oh, I didn't name my campaign. Nah, it's got me. All right.
Someone in Dade County, Florida.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, because it's the 305 area code.
That's funny. Well, hi. Who dat?
so why would you do a TCB appliance when you want to do it all at one time?
You might have somebody you want to speak to personally, just one person, one particular seller. And you have
What?
a personal message for that particular seller, I think.
If I was going
Yeah,
to
but if
just
you
do one, I would just use my cell phone or something, or my business phone.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I don't understand why.
Well, it's a matter of conscience, Ed. So, like in the state of Florida, there's attorneys right now trying to sue people for mass texting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you're in Florida, use the TCPA compliant one. You know, it's just a way for you to be a little bit more safe, a little bit more, you know, I don't know. It's just an option.
Right.
So the blasting though, you know, be smart with it. Don't abuse it, because, you know, you raise red flags and people want to sue other people and shit like this. But the TCPA compliant, that's just one added step of human interaction. So you don't, you know, if the thought is that if an attorney ever did try to sue you for mass texting, well, they're wrong, because you didn't mass text anyone. Yeah, you sent 100 people all the same message, but you did it one at a time. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, guys.
Right.
I'm just saying, in Florida, I use TCPA. And most other places, I use the mass text. That's me, though. Okay.
I guess you use the mass test, and then when you get your yeses or maybes, then you'll use TCPA with him, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. You use TCPA in places that you feel like, yeah. See, Craig Burns wants to know, how would an attorney know if it was a blast or not? Shit, man. You know, I don't know. You know, I think it's a wonderful thing to have this TCPA compliant module on there, but at the same time, I ain't trying to run myself out of business because I'm scared of some attorney I don't know might find me someday and then want to do something about it. You know, like, I'm not too worried about that at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my hope is that if they ever do catch up with me in some way or another on something, it'll be something I was unaware of, and I'm going to play dumber than hell, you know, and then I'm going to say, you know, okay, spank me once, I'll never do it again that way. You know, I don't know, man. I'm not an attorney. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. And this is what's been working for a long time. So TCPA compliance, though, in Florida for sure. Hope that was helpful.
I know the ringless voicemail has been the issue here in Florida. I know personally somebody got in trouble here locally for sending a
Yeah, the ringless voicemail. I've heard that too, Ryed. Ryed's in Florida, and he's saying that the ringless voicemail is more of a problem that he's aware of than the texting, and that somebody locally to him, he even got in some trouble over the ringless voicemail. And if you read the law, the TCPA, just put that in Google and just read it. It'll take you like 45 seconds. Telephony Consumer Protection Act. You don't have to read the bill, just read the synopsis of it. And you can see that ringless voicemail is included in there, I think, somehow or some way. So, you have to comply with the law to the best of your ability, guys. And TCPA compliance is one way to do that, I think.
Yeah.
Anybody got any? That's a good statement, though. Thank you for making that, Rod. I'm glad.
Yeah, just I had
point of
one more
reference.
issue. I don't know if that's gonna serve everybody. It's just a personal thing that I have. I can say I probably lost like 4 deals last month. Just lacking self-confidence kind of thing. I feel like I get to the point where even a couple of them said yes to the lease option, but I just backed up because I said, what if I can't find a buyer for these guys, especially they just in a different city? I'm like 5 hours away from them.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of pushing myself. I just don't know what to do really. I just don't have the confidence to close them.
I think I'm the same. I'm thinking just like you right now. That's my problem too. I think if I get a deal, I'm worried am I going to be able to sell it or move it. So I get kind of staggered, but I stay on it. I'm getting better.
Well,
Yeah, but Justin gave us the rent links. You just put on rent links. It goes to 88 people. 88 different sites.
Yeah, one of the other leads was lady in a situation where she had to get out by June 1st, and I would really, what if I just made her situation worse than helping her? That was the thing.
What is she doing now?
I have no idea. She was in Orlando. I'm in Pensacola.
Because I usually explain the contracts or whatever you want to call them, that if they currently have something going on and I kind of come in to do my thing, they can still continue doing their thing.
Yeah.
And if they get a better out quicker than I can give them an out, then I just back out and cancel. So I'm just another option, but it gives me the opportunity to move forward with it. So that way you're not really losing out on anything.
Yes, that's why we call it the flex option agreement memo. Flex option.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think that's why I'm getting better.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, because you're not. And if you're in the VIP and if you come across something, put it out there because one of us will jump in and help you, kind of work it out. And there's all sorts of marketing avenues for sure. So yeah, don't ever be afraid of those. Jump right in. Just make sure use Justin's documentation if you're in the VIP and you get all that, and put it together and just market the hell out of it. Worst case scenario,
right?
It doesn't work out. So
yeah.
If you run into these deals like this and you don't want to do them, just give them to me, man. I'll make all the money.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask. If anybody, if I know I can't close them, I don't know if somebody willing to step in and close them for me.
No, I'm just playing with you. You got to close them, man.
Just JV it. Just JV it.
Yeah, like JV on them,
Yeah.
I still have a couple of contacts. I might just throw them in there, later today.
Yeah. Well, that sounds it's a good plan, man. You're in the VIP club, and I know there's some boys and some gals in there that would love to get involved in something to make some money on that.
Question mark. Speaking on the VIP club, is that through Facebook?
Yeah, that's the Facebook Messenger chat room in there. Yeah.
Okay. One other quick question. What's the minimum number in terms of population that I should send a text blast out to?
The minimum number of people on the list that you scraped or whatever.
Yes.
I don't like to think of it in terms of minimums. I like to think in terms of maximums. So I'm going to get, I said that, but that doesn't make sense because I'm trying to get 500 a week or real close to. So I will scrape an area, and if I get like 60, 70 or something like that, I'll keep it and I'll do it. I'll blast that, but I'm going to have to add to that.
How do you add to it? Because I did a couple blasts and I got back like about 10, 20. Even though I have one that came back with about 300 or whatever. So I'm saying, how do you add to, let's say, a 10 or 20? Or would you even bother blasting that at all?
Well, if you scraped and you're only getting 10 or 20, there's something going wrong too.
Right.
On the filters, guys, don't use all the filters. Don't go to 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garages. Just do single family houses and a price range between 100 and 200,000 or 100 and 250 or something like this.
Mhm.
If
And
you're
you can
getting
back
no,
out. Yeah. I'm sorry.
go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say if you filter out, like let's say you have 5 filters on it, 3-bedroom, 1,000 square foot, things like that, and it doesn't pull up enough, just back off on one of the filters. Take off the 1,000 square foot, but maybe you still want 3-bedroom, and then kind of see what the number count and how that changes, and then you can keep adjusting like that until you get a decent number. But it also, if you're focusing on certain like cities and the populations are really small, I would pay really close attention to the cells in those areas too, right? Because from what I've seen, and everybody's different, the smaller population, sometimes the smaller buyer pools, that people are actually doing transactions in those areas. So there's some really small areas that I've gotten some potential action out of, but it's hard to find buyers in. But
Right. Because what happened is that I was doing the searches in the bread and butter, what Justin was talking about, his bread and butter market is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and 2-car garage.
Yeah.
And
See, I got to be clear about that because the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage is the gold standard. Okay. That's what I mean. The gold standard. It's the Stratton Oakmont. Okay. When you see the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage come into your life and the deal matches up with the seller, you have struck gold. That's what I mean.
okay.
But
Okay.
I'll still do a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or 3-bedroom, 1-bath, or a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath with off-street parking. I'll still take a shot at that. Absolutely.
Townhomes also?
Say what?
Townhomes also?
Oh yeah, I'll take on a townhome. I don't like condos in the sense of apartments,
Mhm.
but I like townhomes in sense of strip homes. You know what I mean? They're
Yes.
all connected to one another.
Yes.
Many of those are bought and sold all the time. Some of them are rental properties, like someone owns the whole 6 of them. But many cases, all 6 are owned by different people. They're separately metered by the utility company. These are wonderful lease option opportunities.
What about
Are they-
go ahead, I'm sorry.
They're not the gold standard, but they're definitely worth taking a shot at. Would you swing at it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a baseball player standing at the plate. It's not a perfect pitch, but it's so close, you'll swing at it anyway.
Gotcha. What about associations? I mean, would you deal with that too? Because some associations are looking for good credit the whole 9 yards. I mean, at least down here in Florida, I was just wondering, do you do that also?
Yeah, well, I try to avoid homeowners associations that are overbearing. Okay, if it's an expensive homeowners association, if the homeowners association has rules or policies, and sometimes it's pretty obvious, the community will look different than just, let's say, a neighborhood. If they've got rules and regulations that say that the people that live in this property cannot, rent their house out, it has to be owned, or, I've seen some real crazy shit. Trailer parks do that a lot. Okay. Where you can't rent out your trailer to someone else. If you did, you would have to at least have them fill out an application to rent the lot at the same time and let them go through the same approval process. You know what? Phooey on all that.
Correct.
I don't like to do that. In cases where there's a strong homeowners association or something going on there and the deal works, it's better to do some kind of owner financing and just get the deed instead of trying to figure out how we're going to do a lease option in an area where they don't allow these,
Yes.
So, an owner finance would be an option there, but like not necessarily a the gold standard when you find a homeowners association that's trying to be God and dictator over, everything that people do with their own personal possessions.
Okay. So you do manufactured homes also, like mobile homes?
I will make money on a mobile home as long as I have 2 qualifications nowadays. I don't mess with them if they're sitting in a park. Okay. Number 1, it has to be on a lot. Okay. And on that lot, it has to be sitting on a foundation.
Okay.
And I mean a lot of its own, not like a lot in a park, a lot of its own. The homeowner owns the land and the trailer, and the trailer is sitting on some kind of a foundation of permanency, not wheels.
Okay.
If it's sitting on a foundation on a lot of its own, I'll do it like it's any other house. Other than that, I try to stay away from them because it's like flipping a fucking car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's not the same.
I got you. They devalue just like a car.
It may be faster even. Yeah.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah. Good question. Anybody else got a question like that?
Yeah,
Let's try to go for about 10 more minutes. I know we didn't even get started for like 30 minutes because my mic, I couldn't hear anybody for some reason. But when I got out and I came back in, it was fine. So it must have been like Zoom or something.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't get it. But anybody else with a question?
Now you saying
Justin.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You said that you should try to get at least 500 homes per week to blast out so you can get that 2,000 per month. Is that correct?
Yeah. Perfect. That's the target numbers as far as the texting goes.
The texting go.
Yeah.
And try to speak to about five sellers a day and try to
Yes.
send out at least one offer per day.
Yes, that's the goal. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, you're going to have to get good at analyzing these deals, right? And thinking about what kind of offer you can put together. Remember, it's creative real estate. So guys, Ryed was referencing this, having some deals with some sellers he could do, but not sure if he could make it work with the end buyer and how and what. Bring that stuff to the VIP room because we would love to help you figure out how to put a deal together. If you got a motivated seller and you just need to figure out your exit strategy and how to put it together, then by all means, we are your boys.
In terms of the market rent for that particular location, do you find that out through rent links? Or how do you do that?
Market rent for that particular location. Yep. You can either look on rent on PropStream. You can look on rentometer.com. And many times you can look on Zillow and see a rent zestimate.
Okay. Got it. So, mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking to get the shut up line.
But I want you guys to start thinking also more in reference to monthly payment is what is this guy's mortgage payment going to be? The tenant buyer, you set the tenant buyer up with the idea that they're going to buy the house for $250,000 in 24 months. But then you give him a $1,200 a month payment. You're setting him up for failure, guys. Because when he goes to get the mortgage, his payment's going to be $1,850, not $1,200. So you kind of have to think in reference of these numbers as well. And see, analyze the deal, be smart and look at the deal. Is the neighborhood comparable for what the guy owes and what the payment would be, for what the guy's going to get it for? It don't take very long. It's not an ingenious science. It's just kind of thinking through it for a minute. What's the payment look like? What's the rent estimate? And is the payment for what we're going to do the deal for going to be somewhere comparable? Okay. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
David, you had something?
Yeah, I got a question about a deal that I got for a while. I'm working on for a while. So this, it's an ugly house home. It's only 400 square feet. There's no comps in the area. It's basically a 2-2. And the homeowner just wants out. They bought it with the intention of subdividing the property. it's got like 7,800 square feet on the property, but there's no comps that I can find in the area for it. He wanted 250. I told him, like, listen, the property, when I looked it up on the county website, it basically only brings it down to like land value. So he has said he has a couple other offers, but he's still in conversation with me. So he is interested in getting rid of it.
Does he really have a couple other offers?
I don't think so, because I've driven past the property. It's not too far from me, and it's in bad shape. There's no electricity. Nothing's hooked up to the house, and it's only 400 square feet.
Yeah. Well, the house is only 400 square feet.
Yeah.
I
Even on
think
PropStream, they got nothing.
I think my bathroom is 400 square feet.
That's what
And
it's
he
saying
said
on
it's a
PropStream.
2-2 on top of that.
It's a 2-2. So
How do you get a
looks
2-2 out of 400 square feet? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It was built in 1921.
Wow.
Must be one of those mini houses or something.
That's what but I'm
And he's
working
wanting
on
250, and there's no comps around.
no comps around. I've checked everything.
It's a
And
hard
checking
one.
the county tax records doesn't help much.
No, and they put it up against other similar properties, but those similar properties were ugly houses too that went to other investors.
Okay, and so Rick, are you there?
Yeah. I have had this type of scenario, and what I've done, especially in some of these whacked out areas, I've looked up, like, let's say you Google local realtors in that area, and then I've reached out to some of the realtors, and I don't ever give them the address, but I've just asked them, say, hey, I'm an investor. I'm looking at a couple of properties in the area. They're around this square footage, and I'm really having a hard time finding comps. What do you see in properties going for, around this area? Just to kind of get a wide idea as far as what their thoughts are. And plus, being a realtor out there, if you do pick it up, maybe they got some buyers that you could reconnect with. So you can kind of start that conversation. That's one way that I've done it, though, just to kind of get a feel for it.
But would you offer just the land value, especially with a small home like this?
I think I would.
Yeah, see, that's a tough one.
He owns it free and clear. That's the thing. He bought it, and now this is the thing. So he bought it for $50,000. That's how he got the property, and he wants $250,000. I'm like, it's not realistic.
Where's this 250 coming from? Did you ask, like, where are you getting that number from? Because I'm just not seeing it at all. I'm not seeing comps, and I'm definitely not seeing your 250. So can we talk more about that? What's happening here? You don't even have electricity. I mean, it's kind of, there's so many variables. It's just strange. I would have to do some more digging because it just sounds weird to me.
Yeah. I'm going to dig more at him, but he does want to let the property go. The other issue is that the county, like, since everything's shut down, we can't even get in to, like, take some pictures or anything.
Oh.
What state is this in?
New York.
Huh. And what, you don't have to tell me, like, where it's located, but, like, what type of population are you looking at?
This is actually a pretty populated area. Like, this is a lot of fix and flippers and wholesalers are getting homes here. I actually sent this guy an email. I reached out to him months ago, maybe 8 months ago, no answer. And he just called me out the blue and said, oh, I got your message a while ago, and we're looking to get rid of it. I'll put the address in the chat later. So
are there comps of larger homes that are being fixed and flipped and just not a 400 square footers, but there are other comps, there are other sales and other flippers that are interested in that area?
Yes, there definitely are. I know a bunch of the people that are doing fix and flips in the area. I actually know a couple cash buyers but I don't know if they would be interested. Like, they're going based upon what's on, MLS, like basically what they're saying the house is listed for. I don't want to give them the address and then they go over and try to, cut me out the deal.
Yeah, you could always also ask them if you could ask them too. You can give them the scenario, especially if you already have communications with them, and say, hey, you guys flip in this area. I'm looking at a 400 square foot house, but it's buildable. Is that something you guys would be interested in?
Or subdividing it? Like, pitch it to them,
Yeah.
like, listen, it could be subdivided.
Yeah, if it has that ability, I mean, maybe they just want to add another bedroom to it or another 300 square foot. So now it's a 700 square foot 2-bedroom house, right? If it's buildable, but maybe they'll have some other thoughts that they're like, huh, if the price is right, yeah, I'll check it out. But you know, what is that right price for them? So, you know, there's a couple different scenarios that you can kind of at least do a little bit more digging. But I mean, it may be a tough one, right?
Yeah. Do you have a potential buyer?
I
Something
haven't,
like that?
No, not yet. I was gonna just put it out there once I get under contract with this guy, but I'm still working on him. He wants the 250, but I've told him, like, I'm being honest with you, like the land alone is only like 180. You know, there's no way that house is worth it to make it the 250.
Yeah. Well, he might take 180 because he's, like you said, he only spent 50. He's still going to make 130 grand on this deal. That's not too bad.
Yeah. If I picked it up for 50, I'd want 254 too.
That's more than double.
Yeah. What I do in situations like this, and I run into this even in my home market, Kansas City, where I find properties that I just cannot find a value for, no matter how hard I try. And sometimes a realtor comes in handy, but I also have some buyers that I've developed some relationships with that buy in the area and that would be interested in something like that. And I don't know, you could even enter into a confidentiality agreement or some kind of referral agreement or something if you wanted to make yourself feel more protected. But it's a great relationship to have a buyer like that will go out and look at a place for you and tell you, hey, you know, this is what it's worth and this is the work that needs done and what it's going to cost and blah, blah. And they'll do that for the exclusive first right to get it if you do the deal.
Okay.
So I've got some guys like that I use because honestly, they're more intelligent than me. I mean, they've fixed more houses. They've, you know, they know more about what's wrong with the basement than I do and, you know, whatnot, you know, and they've got their own team and their own due diligence, their own private money. I mean, I need help sometimes. Well, and they're willing to, for the right to make the first to have the offer, you know, I'll take their offer first if they help me out, if I can get the deal. And many times these guys help me get the deal because they want it.
Okay. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate the help.
Yeah. I wish we could be more help, man. I wish there was
that's enough.
You know, a magical wand we could do something about, but you know, there are some strange properties out there. That just sounds like one of them. I've never heard of a 2-bedroom house that's 400 square feet. It's strange.
It's weird. I've driven past it.
That's the key. The $250,000 for 400 square feet is the part that's really boggling my mind, to be very honest with you. So I don't know if this guy's legit or he's just pulling your leg. I'm not sure because it's kind of.
I think, to be honest with you, I think they were an investor at some point and they bought the house sight unseen. Because I asked him, "Have you been to the house?" Because I've been there. I've walked around the property before. He couldn't even tell me if there's a basement or not. I know there's a basement there.
Is it in the boroughs or is it out in upstate someplace?
No, it's in the county, out in Long Island.
Long Island, okay. I have an uncle lives out in Long Island. How far in Long Island? All the way out? Or
Nassau. It's not too far from me.
That's towards the beginning part. Okay, gotcha. Wow, that's a lot of money for 250 square. I mean, for 400 square feet. To be very honest with you.
So I'm gonna work them, and I'll take your advice. I have a friend that's a realtor, so I'm gonna talk to him, and he actually does fix and flips too, so he might be interested in it.
Great.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to give up the address and all that information just to get some, just some ideas from them, for sure.
Okay.
Just to protect yourself. I mean, that's my take on
it. Somebody wants to know about finding out-of-state buyers for fix and flips or what have you. You know, I don't use any special technique to find. I have buyers that are both domestic and international. So I have stateside buyers that buy regularly, and I also have some international buyers that buy. And I can tell you that hey, Sean, thanks for enrolling in VIP, man. I'll send you the links and stuff as soon as we wrap up here. And I'll get you in the, hey, message me on Facebook so I'll know it's you and I can get you in the right chat. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, I just start putting your name out there, man. Craigslist, I buy houses, we buy houses. I've got a surplus of deals. start building cash buyers lists, and you'll find that there's international buyers intermingled in there, and there's also out-of-state buyers intermingled. Okay, international buyers, I'll forewarn you, international and out-of-state buyers, they oftentimes require a little more effort on your part to work with because they are out of the country or out of the state. So that's what's up. Okay. All right. Anybody with any other last questions? I've got an appointment I'm currently missing at the moment.
Thank you very much, Justin. Great job as usual.
Hey, I love you guys. Sorry again about the, I don't know. Well, I couldn't hear you. I must have seemed like a rude, arrogant jerk, man. People are talking to me and I'm just ignoring you.
It's technology's fault, not your fault.
I could hear a darn thing, man. Hey, love you guys. I'll see you in the VIP. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, man. Have a good weekend.
You too, Rick. Thank you. Bye-bye.